Your top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts Bringing Value Home. GECOM assistant accounts clerk busted with stolen money. Police says approximately $5 million stolen. Day 28 of the ongoing election of fraud trial. SHUMAN denies receiving parliamentary appointment under PPPC. Minister of Education flags delays in school projects across Region 7. Police dismisses claims of license selling. Urged drivers to take responsibility. And in sport, action resumes in the Guyana Football Federation's Elite League. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm ALETHEA Grant with the Tuesday 23rd September 2025 edition of the HGP Nightly News. This is what you should know this evening. Travis Chase gives us an update on that investigation into stolen money at the Guyana Elections Commission GECOM. He will tell us that the hands of an accounts clerk were found in the cookie jar.
An assistant accounts clerk attached to the Guyana Elections Commission remains in police custody after he was busted with a quantity of stolen money, property of the Guyana Elections Commission. The Corporate Communications Unit of the Guyana Police Force was forced to issue a statement on investigation. They said that a small fraction of the stolen money was recovered by detectives, which was in possession of an assistant accounts clerk who is in police custody. Our sources, however, tell us that the money stolen could be more than $5 million, but the police would only say that approximately $5 million property of GECOM has been stolen. Nightly News first reported that last Monday, the Accounts Department of the Guyana Elections Commission received some $969 million to pay staff of the recently concluded general and regional elections. And by Thursday, millions of dollars were discovered missing. On Monday, a number of GECOM staff members of the Finance Department were being questioned by police in relation to the theft. Contacted on Tuesday, Public Relations Officer of the Guyana Elections Commission, Yolanda Ward, told Nightly News that she's aware of an investigation but cannot comment further since the police are handling the matter. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Minister of Education Sonia Parag has raised concerns about the slow pace of ongoing school projects, particularly in Region 7. She led a team to inspect several sites, urging contractors to step up their efforts to ensure these projects are completed on schedule. Jada June is on that story.
During the visit, Minister of Education Sonia Parag emphasized that all contractors executing delayed projects under the Ministry of Education will now be required to submit weekly reports until completion.
The mandate that I gave was that we have a weekly progress report with pictures as well as the percentage on status of the work being done.
Parag and her team visited the 3 Mile Secondary School dormitory, Lower Mazaruni, which is scheduled for completion this December. Although slightly behind schedule, Minister Parag instructed the contractors to extend working hours and double manpower to ensure the deadline is met.
And not just getting to a completion date, but making sure that the work is done properly as well, because it's children that we're dealing with.
The minister explained that the dormitory was originally a single building housing both male and female students. Under the current project, the existing structure is being renovated for boys while a new dormitory is under construction for girls. The ministers also visited the community of Caro, where a secondary school is being built. That project is also behind schedule due to challenges sourcing construction materials. Another site inspected was the Bartica Secondary School dormitory, which will feature 3 separate buildings. One of the buildings is expected to be handed over this week, with the overall project approximately 70% complete. Full completion is targeted for the end of October. The minister confirmed that additional projects across Region 7 are expected to be inspected in the coming weeks. Only last week, Indigenous activist Laura George issued a call for urgent attention to address several delayed or incomplete school projects across the administrative regions. She highlighted that several schools and dormitories across the interland and coastal regions remain incomplete, creating setbacks for students and communities. Among the projects cited were Santa Rosa Secondary School Dormitory, Quibana Secondary School, the Philippi Secondary School, Jawalia Secondary School and Dormitory, and new infrastructure for the Desiree Caesar Fox Secondary School in Region 7. Monkey Mountain Secondary School and Dormitory, Kopinang Secondary School Dormitory and Paramakatoy Secondary and Maikobi Secondary in Region 8. Mirawanao Secondary Dormitory in Region 9. According to George, the completion of these projects must be prioritized to ensure equitable access to education for all Guyanese children, regardless of geography. Jada June reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Former Liberty and Justice Party presidential candidate Lennox Schumann told the court on Tuesday that he did not receive any appointment under the ruling People's Progressive Party Civic Administration following the 2025 elections. Tiana Cole is on that story.
Schuman's testimony came on day 28 of the election fraud trial, where he was subjected to another round of intense cross-examination from defense attorneys about his political ties and his earlier claims of electoral irregularities. Schuman testified that he was never appointed under the People's Progressive Party Civic (PPPC) government after the 2025 elections. However, when questioned by attorney Ronald Daniels, he admitted that he had indeed campaigned alongside the PPPC during that election period. The attorney pressed further, asking whether Schuman had been listed as a parliamentarian under the new PPPC administration. Schuman said he had not received any official notification to that effect. Despite this, he acknowledged that he was present at President Irfan Ali's swearing-in ceremony and had been invited on stage with ministers as part of the PPPC's contingent heading into Parliament. The defense then presented published articles that reported Schuman as a PPPC parliamentarian. Schuman read the articles but refused to accept their contents as true and correct. He maintained that as of September 23, he had no formal notice confirming that he was part of the incoming parliamentary team. The witness's credibility came under further scrutiny when he was shown the video recording of President Ali's swearing-in ceremony. Schuman agreed that he was present at the event and admitted he was invited on stage with the ministers standing in the position of a parliamentarian. Despite this, he maintained throughout his testimony that he has not received confirmation of being included in the PPPC parliamentary lineup.
The following additional persons who would join them in Parliament to please come forward. Lennox Schuman, Jennifer Ann Westford.
Cross-examination of Schuman later continued with attorney Anderson, who posed another round of questioning as the day's proceedings came to a close. In the morning session, attorney Nigel Hughes opened the cross-examination by focusing on Schuman's allegations of electoral inconsistencies. Under questioning, Schuman admitted that he had no documentary evidence to support the claims made in his statement. He also confirmed that he never provided the Ghana Police Force with any such evidence. When asked whether he had ever filed a complaint with GECOM against staffer Enrique Liven, Schuman answered no. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
We have more news for you. Stay tuned. Welcome back with the HGP Nightly News. Concerns continue to mount on social media about alleged corruption in the licensing system and its links to reckless driving on Guyana's roadways. However, during a recent episode of Police and You, senior traffic officers dismissed these allegations as largely a matter of perception, while urging drivers to take responsibility for their actions. Tiana Cole reports.
While many social media users argue that careless driving is caused by police officers selling licenses Two senior ranks give their perspective on whether this is factual or simply perception during the recent program. Traffic Chief Mahindra Singh noted that perception drives conflict. He explained that the process of acquiring a license is strictly procedural to safeguard the integrity of the system.
If you have evidence, come forward. Because as much as the police would be accused of something, you're also putting your hand in something too. You're equally culpable and involved.
Singh added that those who lawfully obtain their licenses are required to apply the principles of defensive driving and practice them consistently. Meanwhile, Superintendent Ron CLERK also maintained that claims of widespread corruption are more perception than fact. He argued that many road users try to blame the police to excuse their own irresponsible behavior.
When you look at persons driving on the road without a safety helmet, I don't think that a man have to study a package to know that, look, putting a helmet on your head affords safety to your head.
Clark stressed that responsibility rests with the individuals behind the wheel.
Vehicles cannot travel fast unless you accelerate, and that is known. But yet you can travel at a fast rate of speed that you cannot have proper control of a vehicle in a populated area.
He added that when officers review CCTV footage of accidents, it is clear that 98% of these cases, drivers themselves contributed to the collision, many of which could have been avoided.
They just choose to do nonsense on the roadways.
Tianco reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The new Demerara River Bridge is undergoing a series of load testing to international specifications to ensure safety. Phase 1 of such testing, according to the project manager, was successful and exceeded expectations. Marvin Cato reports.
The new Demerara River Bridge has cleared critical tests in its first phase of testing, according to project manager Patrick Thompson. Load testing concluded on Monday. The new bridge, which will reduce travel time, is also expected to improve commercial activity between regions 3 and 4. Project manager Thompson told state media reporters that the results were better than the design requirements, and the series of tests were designed to verify the bridge's structural integrity. According to Thompson, the testing followed strict international standards set by the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials, AASHTO. Nightly News was able to obtain pictures and footage of the structure, and from all indications in the videos, there is still a lot of work to be done to complete the bridge, which is touted to be opened before the end of September. In the video showing aerial shots of the bridge, special care was placed in not including footage Nightly News was able to obtain, which shows clearly that even though load testing was conducted, there is a section of the bridge that has significant work still to be completed. The first phase of the load testing followed specific guidelines and was conducted with 5 trucks, each weighing 40 tons. However, it must be noted that for other parts of the bridge, the load testing will differ, Thompson explained. For the main cable-stayed bridge, the contractor will have to use 16 trucks as opposed to the 5 used on Monday, Thompson further explained. Guyana's transportation infrastructure will be further boosted when the bridge is officially operational and will be a game changer for commuters. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Member of the People's National Congress Reform, Ganesh Mahipal, firmly believes that instead of blaming the party's leadership for its devastating loss at this year's elections, it is essential for all members to come together and create viable solutions to maintain the party's grassroots base, which is crucial for its future. Antonio Day has that story.
Many have questioned the leadership of the People's National Congress Reform, particularly after the political faction of Partnership for National Unity faced a significant loss of its role as opposition. This shift followed a devastating defeat in several strongholds to the People's Progressive Party and We Invest in Nationhood. Elson Lowe and other members have publicly criticized the party leader Aubrey Norton, hoping for a new approach to help the party rebuild confidence among its grassroots supporters. Speaking on the program Nationwide, Central Executive Committee member Ganesh Mahipal said that while it is unfortunate for party members such as Lowe to make such public statements, these criticisms will be used as great strategies as to how the party will regroup and re-strategize to regain its former glory.
It will not destroy an institution that is 70 years old. What it will do is give rise to new leadership.
Mai Paul, who has been in the party for several years, noted that from 2011 to 2020, the level of involvement within the group and party structure began to decline, but noted that the party is now intensifying its efforts in the rebuilding process.
We will rebuild, restructure, and rebrand and come stronger than ever. And I'm absolutely certain that once we do it the correct way, 2030 is ours to enjoy.
Ronald Daniels, an honorary member of the party, noted that the rebuilding process has already begun.
And we're sensitive to what the people want to see. The people want us to continue to maintain that relationship with the communities. And we've already started responding to some of these crises.
Daniels, an attorney, noted that evidently having requisite financing at this year's elections was critical. He posited that these key factors which the party will review and address going forward.
It's really important that, we focus on becoming financially self-sufficient as an organization. The dynamics of politics is radically changing, right? And people have real issues, and they're not always going to get assistance and solutions from the government. So they're looking to us, even at the party level, to alleviate some of those challenges.
Like Maipol, Danielle said, sustaining the party's grassroots base is important. Antonio De reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thanks, Antonio. We have more news after this break. Stay with us. You're still with the HGP Nightly News. Thanks for staying with us. Antonio De tells us that Linden Mayor Sharma Solomon has officially resigned his portfolio in order to take up his new role as a member of Parliament for the Partnership for National Unity.
Sharma Solomon has announced his resignation as Mayor of Linden to take on the role of Member of Parliament, signaling a powerful transition in his public service career after over 20 years of dedicated activism. Solomon, in a statement, regarded his time representing his community as not only a privilege, but also an honor, and he's fully committed to bringing that same level of dedication to his new responsibilities in the National Assembly. After serving as councillor, regional chairman, and mayor, I will shortly be closing this chapter to begin another life in the public office. Representing the people of Linden and Region 10 has been a humbling privilege and honor, Solomon said. Reflecting on the many challenges faced by residents of Linden, such as job losses and devastating floods, Solomon emphasized the unparalleled strength and solidarity of its people. He urged members of the People's National Congress Reform and a Partnership for National Unity to remain steadfastly dedicated following the September 1 elections, reminding them that success will demand courage and unwavering energy. The road ahead will not be easy for those of us stepping into positional service. It will demand courage, energy, and commitment to keep our promise to put the people first. In his farewell address as mayor, Solomon declared that Linden embodies resilience and national unity. Linden is not just a place, it's a person, he asserted, and he vowed to tirelessly advocate for the community's needs in Parliament. Solomon is among 12 selected parliamentary representatives for the Partnership for National Unity in the 13th Parliament. Antonio De reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Concerns about the safety of gas bottles supplied by Massey Gas are once again at the forefront following another explosion. Jada June reports.
Calls are mounting for a thorough investigation after another Massey gas bottle explosion, and a family of the most recent explosion narrowly escaped the tragedy. For David and his family, the night began quietly but quickly turned into a disaster with a gas bottle. Rights advocate and leader of the Assembly for Liberty and Prosperity ALP party, Simona Brooms, says by now the company should have already been forced into a full recall.
My brothers was asleep. My brothers were asleep. It was just my father and I were staying up a little late. We were having some discussions, and this when we heard the hissing. But we check, and it's the whole house smelling with gas, and the gas spewing out of the gas bottle.
David described rushing into the kitchen where the sound was like a pressure cooker. He discovered gas spewing not only from the regulator but also through the burners, even though the stove was turned off. Its quick action removing the regulator and shutting off the cylinder prevented what could have been a fatal explosion. This near tragedy adds to a growing list of reports tied to Massey's gas supply. Only recently, a woman in Sophia lost her life after a similar explosion, sparking outrage across the communities.
Persons, I want you to pay attention because this problem that people talking about with Massey is a real and is a serious and a deadly one.
Leader for the Assembly of Liberty, Simona Brooms, has since renewed calls for urgent government actions.
I don't know how many more lives gotta go down without this company being held. And number one, this gas with Massey should have been recalled a long time.
She reminded the public that Vice President Barak Jagdeo had announced an investigation into Massey's gas operations as far back as January. Yet little information has been shared since.
The government and the Vice President must ensure that not only that report, but a report into all these Massey gas bottle problem, and that some level of action needs to be taken.
She encouraged affected families to pursue legal action against the company, stressing that an official government probe could also serve as valuable evidence in court. With repeated incidents, fatalities, and growing public outcry, pressure is mounting on both the government and Massey to ensure accountability, safety, and answers. However, decisive actions are being taken by Massey to address these issues. Massey has since rolled out a program where persons are asked to switch their old regulators to a new one. Jada June reported for HGP Nightly News.
Residents of Region 6, that's East Berbice, Quarantine over the coming days are set to benefit from training provided by the Women's Innovation and Investment Network WIN in the area of elderly care. Marvin Cato reports.
Caring for the elderly is an area in Guyana that needs continuous work, and the Ministry of Social Protection has over the years worked with many groups and trained many persons in order to facilitate the care needed to make one's golden years their best years or very comfortable years. The Women's Innovation and Investment Network WIN program is a free skills training program run by the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security in Guyana. Its aim is to empower women and girls and to expand opportunities for them. The residents of Region 6 will benefit from valuable hands-on training over the next 3 days as the Care for the Elderly course commenced on Monday in the boardroom of the Regional Democratic Council, RDC. Participants are expected to gain valuable knowledge and skills needed to provide compassionate, attentive, and dignified care to the elderly, which will support them in various aspects of their daily lives. The WIN program is designed in such a way where doors can be opened for participants to pursue opportunities in the caregiving industry, especially in the career of patient care assistants. Guyana, being on the path to providing innovative and first-class care, is ensuring at this stage the foundation is laid to support the rapid expansion in the area of elderly care. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Good evening and welcome to Tuesday's edition of the Regional News. I am Antonio Day. We begin with news in Trinidad and Tobago. The People's National Movement, PNM, is demanding an immediate independent investigation into the allegation that Minister of Homeland Security, Roger Alexander, met with gang leaders before and after the last general election at a state prison. In a news release issued on Monday, the PNM urged the Prime Minister, that is Kamla Persad-Bissessar, to act swiftly and decisively to preserve the integrity of our democracy, public trust in our institutions, and to protect the safety and security of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. The PNM called for one, an immediate and independent investigation into these allegations to determine the facts and to ensure that public trust in our institutions is not further eroded. 2, a public statement by the Prime Minister on this matter. As the head of government and chair of the National Security Council, the Prime Minister must inform the nation whether this matter has been brought before the Council for their consideration and what immediate action has been taken. And lastly, clarification from the Commissioner of Police to to the population on whether the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has received any such report and whether this matter is currently the subject of a police investigation. Turning attention to news in Haiti, the director of the Haiti Observatory within the Global Initiative Against Organized Crime, Romain Lecour, has called on Haitian authorities to break their silence and issue an official statement regarding the drone attacks that left 8 children dead in Simon Pele neighborhood of Cité Soleil. Media reports said that attack last night was aimed at gang leader Albert Stevenson, going by the alias De Joma, who at the time of the attack was preparing to celebrate his birthday and was distributing gifts to children. The area is believed to be controlled by Viz Ansam, a coalition of gangs which the United States of America designated a foreign terrorist organization in May. One of the group's leaders and most notorious figures, Jimmy Cherisher, known as Barbecue, promised to avenge the attack. And finally, with some international news, US President Donald Trump on Tuesday condemned moves by Western powers to recognize a Palestinian state, saying such steps would reward horrible atrocities by the Palestinian militant group Hamas. In a speech to United Nations General Assembly, Trump said that world powers would focus instead on securing the release of hostages held in Gaza nearly 2 years after Hamas seized them in the deadly attack on Israel that triggered the Gaza war. France, Britain, Canada, Australia, and Portugal have all recognized a Palestinian state in the past 2 days. Their moves were born out of frustration with Israel over its offensive in Gaza and intended to promote a two-state solution, but have angered Israel and its close ally, the United States. Thank you for watching. I am Antonio Day. Goodbye for now and be safe.
Let's now join Delwyn Neblet for HGP's Sports Pulse.
Good evening, Guyana, and welcome to the HGP TV Sports Pulse for today, Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. In an initiative aimed at reaffirming the government's commitment to sport development, identifying new opportunities for collaboration, and addressing areas for improvement, the newly appointed minister within the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sports, Stephen Jacobs, has commenced a series of one-on-one consultations with national sports associations and federations. On Monday, the minister met and interacted with representatives from the Guyana Amateur Basketball Federation, the Guyana Golf Association, the Guyana Football Federation, the Guyana National Domino Federation, and the Guyana Karate Federation. The minister mentioned via social media, and I quote, "Throughout these discussions, I've been listening closely as each federation shared their achievements, challenges, and aspirations for the development of sport across the country. These insights are invaluable as we work to strengthen our sporting landscape and ensure that athletes, coaches, and administrators are fully supported." He further added that a key focus during the interactions was His Excellency President Dr. Irfan Ali's visionary initiative to dedicate Friday afternoons to physical education in all public schools. Moving into some hockey, Old Fort clinched under-13 title at the Igloo Sunshine National Junior Hockey Tournament. As a part of the recently concluded National Junior Hockey Championships at the National Gymnasium, the mixed under-13 category produced a lot of excitement as two Old Fort sides battled for supremacy in the grand finale. In the end, it was the Gladiators claiming victory over the Warriors as Jasmine DeSantos and Johnny Carpio, both of the Warriors, copped the female and male MVP titles respectively. The final also featured talented multidiscipline siblings Avery and Adaremi Simon competing on opposing teams. The GCC War Dogs finished in third place. In domestic football, action resumed in the Guyana Football Federation's Elite League on Monday with two fixtures at the National Training Center in Providence. In the first match, it was a feast of goals for the Guyana Defence Force as they delivered a thrashing 36-0 victory over the mainstay Gold Stars. Stephen McDonough scored 9 goals and MVP Mackay Jervis 7, as Shamar Scott scored a hat-trick and Abunchi Apara, Trayon Bob, Malcolm Miggins, and Colwyn Adams each netted doubles. Caron Spencer and Isaiah Eiffel also scored once in a winning effort. The second match was a close encounter between the Western Tigers and Santos FC, as Kimani Sealy's early strike was enough to give Santos a 1-0 victory. Goalkeeper Simon Emmanuel was awarded the match MVP for maintaining a clean sheet. More in football, the Guyana Football Federation on Monday welcomed the commencement of a 3-day FIFA retreat at its secretariat. The mission is aimed at assessing the football ecosystem in Guyana and providing guidance to the Federation as it works to chart a sustainable pathway for strategic development. The retreat will focus on strengthening developmental and operational procedures within the Guyana Football Federation and the wider football landscape over the coming days. Day 1 was facilitated by FIFA consultant Stuart Reagan, who will be joined today by Mr. Jordan Victoire, the lead at the FIFA regional office, as the program advances. In international football, Ousmane Dembele has been awarded the 2025 Ballon d'Or on the back of a phenomenal season with Paris Saint-Germain, during which he registered 35 goals and 16 assists in all competitions. The 28-year-old star Frenchman was presented with the award on Monday at the Théâtre du Châtelet in France. Dembele played a pivotal role in PSG's historic triple-winning campaign, securing the UEFA Champions League for the first time in the club's history, along with the Ligue 1 title and the Coupe de France. He has this season received other individual awards, including the Ligue 1 Player of the Year, and was also recognized as the UEFA Champions League Player of the Season. This marks the first time Dembele has won the Ballon d'Or, as he becomes the 6th Frenchman to lift the most prestigious individual award in the sport of football. And we conclude with cricket. Legendary cricket umpire Harold Dickey Bird has died at the age of 92. Bird, who became a household name for Guyanese and cricket fans globally, officiated in 66 tests and 76 one-day internationals. He also featured in 3 World Cup finals, including the victorious campaigns of the West Indies against Australia in 1975 and England in 1979, led by legendary Guyanese Sir Clive Lloyd. Dickey Bird was a proud stalwart of the Yorkshire County cricket team, both as a player and administrator. May his soul rest in peace. That's it for this edition of the HGP TV Sports Pulse. I'm Delwyn Neblett, reminding you to stay in the game.
GECOM assistant accounts clerk busted with stolen money. Police says approximately $5 million stolen. Day 28 of the ongoing election fraud trial. SHUMAN denies receiving parliamentary appointment under the PPPC government. Minister of Education flags delays in school projects across Region 7. Police dismiss claims of license selling, urged drivers to take responsibility. And in sport, action resumes in the Guyana Football Federation's Elite League. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm ALETHEA Grant. Thanks for watching.